Welcome to Beyond the Headlines, where we break down today's local news stories with our very own reporters. Thanks for joining us on the WMBD Plus app. I'm Brianna Rittman.
And I'm Cameron Main. Today we're getting a breakdown of transportation tax for Chicago and how it might impact us downstate. Then we will give an update on construction for a housing project in the Twin Cities. And lastly, a popular longtime venue could be closing its doors in Peoria.
But first, Chicago Transit is facing a fiscal cliff. Downstate has increasingly been involved in the conversation, and our very own Cameron Main has been working on this story and brings us some updates on what he's learned. So, Cameron, why is Downstate involved in the Chicago Transit discussion?
So originally it was basically Chicago Transit is facing a fiscal cliff. You was getting a lot of money and was brought up thanks to a lot of federal COVID money. That helped hold it up, but ridership has been consistently going down over the years since the start of COVID. COVID kind of just set this precedent of ridership hasn't met the same levels as how they wanted to. And so we're seeing ridership slowly increase for Chicago Transit, but not at the rate that they need it. So they need funding, or thousands of jobs could be lost and transit lines could be cut. How does this affect Central Illinois? Well, in the last couple of moments of literally 2 hours before the session ends, a bill in the Senate would find a way to fund Chicago Transit because they came up with a bunch of ideas, but there weren't enough votes for it. There was this idea to do a statewide delivery tax, $1.50 on every delivery that's not involving medication or groceries. Those would be free. But that tax would be applied statewide. So if you had your Amazon deliveries, if you had any kind of delivery, it would be a $1.50 tax. And that would go to Chicago Transit. 80% of that would go to Chicago Transit and 20% would go to Downstate Transit. But Downstate didn't really have a fully fleshed out idea because it was kind of put together at the very end. They didn't really know where to put the money. So the bill, it passed the Senate, died in the House. So the question is, veto session's coming up in October. What is going to happen with the transit bill?
Now, what did the Speaker of the House have to say about all this?
Well, he came to a town hall in Bloomington, which is quite a rare opportunity for such a big leader to come locally here. But he basically said that there will be something for downstate in the transit bill. So it seems like it's more going towards a reforming of transit across Illinois instead of just focusing on Chicago and the suburbs. So now I asked him again, I was like, what does that look like? Does that mean like maybe an Amtrak line from Quincy, Peoria, Bloomington, Champaign, something that kind of crisscrosses, because we can go up and down fine, but it kind of left to right doesn't really work out as well when you think of transit. So there's some ideas, there's a lot of ideas when it comes to transit. So they're trying to still figure out how that's going to work, and they didn't want to reveal anything too quickly, but something will be in the package for downstate.
Okay, well, here's an animal story to make Cameron happy. Check this out. A mother bear with her 2 cubs were caught on camera confronting a man by his truck. The family had been vacationing in the Smoky Mountains in Tennessee. Beautiful place. Now, the bears look like they want whatever is in the trunk, and the mama bear hops up and gets a bag and walks away with it.
Oh my gosh,
Wow.
Look at that. I love bears so much. Oh, he went for it. He's going in there. Oh my gosh, he's got the entire bag. Oh, sorry, don't want to misgender to the bear.
Hey, that's our food.
That is so cute. Look, if I needed to feed my kids.
From Goldilocks.
Look, if I was a mama bear, I would probably steal other people's food. And that's kind of a funny thing is that, as things there's so less green space and black bears are gonna come into the neighborhoods and steal people's foods, and it's like
it's reparations from Goldilocks.
Goldilocks, yeah.
Goldilocks broke in the house, took everything.
But didn't Goldilocks die at the end of that?
I feel like in a gruesome version.
In a gruesome way.
But in like.
You sure?
Like maybe not Brothers Grimm, but whoever wrote it.
But they were pretty grim.
Yeah, but in that story that we learned in pre-K and kindergarten, I don't think she died.
I feel like they might have
and then when we became teenagers, that's when history was rewritten or finally told that,
Goldilocks.
Because imagine really going into a bear's dwelling.
Oh yeah, and
People
you're
are-
like, and you're sleeping in the bed, and you're like, oh, this is just right, and it's like, yeah, it's my bed.
That's
You're sleeping
right.
in it. Of course, it's good.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So it was reparations for Goldilocks.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. When we come back on Beyond the Headlines, we've got Austin Feeman joining us from the Twin Cities newsroom to give an update on the housing project going on. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines, where you hear only the best stories. Another big local story of the day.
WMBD's Austin Feeman joins us from the Twin Cities newsroom. So, Austin, what is this bridge project that you have to tell us about?
Yeah, so the Bridge Project is going to be a non-congregate shelter for the homeless community in Bloomington and Normal. It will feature 48 different sleeping cabins for people to be able to have their own space for, quite honestly, maybe the first time in their entire lives. And this kind of village almost will also feature some a bathhouse and a clubhouse, so people are able to, bathe themselves, socialize with other people. There will also be some medical professionals on site, including mental health services, substance use services, housing, navigation, and some employment services to help them with this journey and to help them get back on their feet to get back into the community. All of this stuff on site will help them make that recovery a little bit quicker than they would if they had to drive all around town going to this place and this place and this place. All of it being right there is just going to increase their recovery speed and get them out into the community working and in their own home faster. Now, Home Sweet Home Ministries is the one taking the lead on this effort. But a lot of the other not-for-profits or nonprofits in the area are also helping out, donating supplies and money and whatnot. But Home Sweet Home only expects these people to stay for about 4 to 6 months while they recover. This shelter is not meant to be a forever home for people, but it's meant to be a bridge, hence the name, from the homeless life to a life with a home and a job and a stable life.
Sounds like
good.
they've got something good going on there. So what's the current status of the project, Austin?
Yeah, Cameron, so the project right now is on track to be completed by mid-December, which was the original date that they had set for themselves to be completed by, which is great. They're really happy and excited to be on track and very thankful for the lack of rain that we've been having. That way they've been able to hit the ground running, getting everything built. Right now they have been building the cabins off-site, just down the block at the old Clay Dooley building, which is literally like 2-3 blocks down the street from the actual site. That's where they're building all of the 48 cabins, complete with windows, doors, carpets, paint, walls, everything. It will all be built there and then transferred over to the bridge site. Once those are transferred over, then people will be able to start living in them. They will be transferred over in the next 2 to 3 weeks, but people won't be able to live in them until December when everything is complete. Right now at the site, they have built the foundations for the homes. They also are starting on the walls for the bathhouse and the clubhouse. They also are doing plumbing and electrical for all 48 of the cabins and the 2 main buildings. That way they have electricity and plumbing. Those are going to be hopefully finished in the next few weeks. And then the next steps for the cabins would be painting the inside and outside of them.
All right, Austin, thank you. We'll hear more about it in WMBD News at 6. Now let's take a look at this. This corn maze in Maine has been voted the best in the entire nation for the 4th year in a row.
4 years, wow.
All right, now this year's maze design is Whale of a Tale, drawing inspiration from Maine children's author Robert McCluskey's classic book Bert Dow, Deep Water Man.
To honor that legacy, the farm announced they will be offering free admission to the corn maze this weekend. This year marks the 8th time they have placed in the USA Today's 10 Best Corn Maze competition. The farm also placed second this year for Best Pumpkin Patch. Well, we know where the best pumpkin patches are. It's Morton, baby.
Right. Exactly.
We know that for sure.
Got to come to Central Illinois to enjoy these pumpkin patches.
Exactly. But that is a really impressive corn maze. I know there is
Look at
the...
it.
Look, I also think the Tanner's corn maze is pretty good when they
Right.
get, but it's very confusing because you kind of go in there and you can't really go out.
Right.
So it's quite an investment when you enter a
I
corn
think
maze.
it's like fall festivities. I like, the mazes, because I'm not a haunted house person.
Oh, really?
I like to be able to sleep at night. So
Okay, that's valid.
Going to different orchards and, the farms and, haystacks and maize and taking cool fall pictures, I'm all for that, but
I feel like we should turn like the WMBD studio into a haunted house for like the day of Halloween.
That
And then
was
we
a
could
nice
just
idea.
like, when Thomas and Rebecca are there, they're like doing the news of, and then we go, ah, and
looking
we
like
scare them.
Frankenstein.
Yeah, exactly. we'll catch them good.
Yeah, we will. We still need to get the put.
Oh yeah, we still got a putt competition to
We
do.
still need to get that out the way too.
All right, we've got one more local story for you when we return on Beyond the Headlines. We're sitting down with Alex Berger to learn about a local entertainment venue trying to stay afloat before having to close their doors. We'll have all those details when we come back.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines, where we talk to you about stories that matter to you. And we have our last local story of the day. An area comedy, good thing I laughed. An area comedy club is facing some big challenges.
This is my line. WMBD's Alex Berger joins us now. So Alex,
I'm so used to you not being here.
I know,
Cameron.
right?
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I've just been gone so long. So what's going on with the Jukebox Comedy Club, Alex?
Yes, so right now, one of the most historic comedy clubs in the state is facing a lot of financial struggles.
Okay.
This isn't anything new financial struggle-wise. They have been struggling off and on since 2020. Obviously, a lot of businesses have struggled since 2020, but due to different COVID-related business shutdowns and stuff like that, and when they were shut down, having to pay out of pocket without having any business revenue was difficult for them 5 years ago. And now the upkeep is starting to get a lot more expensive. They didn't have their liquor license renewed, and so that also made it difficult. And more recently, in April, a building that's connected to the comedy club collapsed partially. And that has also made trying to keep it up difficult. So, yeah, it's just a lot of challenges right now for the Jukebox. So.
Now, how can the community help the Jukebox?
Yeah, so what they are doing tonight, if you're watching this after tonight, Wednesday night, they are putting on what they have each Wednesday and Thursday, which is their open mic. Well, this could potentially be their last open mic at this location.
Oh.
So
Okay.
they are putting on what is called Save Jukebox. As you see, these are pictures of a lot of the comics. That's a newly painted door they made to look like a jukebox. And they're still out painting at the time this is the time we're talking, they're out there right now still painting. But they're putting on Save Jukebox. It is a open mic for the ages. They are getting as many local comics as possible. I mean, just
Yourself included?
not myself included. Hey, maybe one day. Maybe
Okay.
one day. Definitely something I will dabble in at some
I
point.
would have watched you.
You would watch.
Yes,
I would
I would
watch
support
you.
you.
Oh, that's so
Y'all
nice.
can tag team.
Look at this.
We could do our own like comedy bit.
We could. We really could.
Yeah.
What would we call?
Beyond the Jukebox.
Oh my gosh, yes. But yeah, so this is, and also after the open mics, after the comedy portion, they are also doing kind of a community jam fest. So it's kind of a bring your own instrument People can bring whatever they want, and they say that they do a lot of like musical comedy. So they improv a lot of songs that are funny and stuff like that. And it's just a lot of acceptance of comedy in general there. So they really want to keep this alive.
So I think you mentioned something that this club has been around for a while. What's the historical importance of this club?
Yeah, so this club has been in operation since 1990. The current owner, Dan Conlon, took over the club in 2000. So
Okay.
it was in different hands for 10 years, but in 2000 he took it over. And we have seen some absolutely legendary comics come through here. And we are in the city hometown of legendary comedian Richard Pryor.
Yes,
Hello,
yes,
somebody.
yes.
Exactly. One of the greatest of all time, being in this city, being from this city. Obviously, he passed on in the early 2000s, but we keep this, entertainment legacy alive. We keep this comedy
Right.
legacy alive. And in speaking to, comedians today, the big thing is they just want to, in a place where Richard Pryor was born, where comedy is thriving, they want to make sure that the centrifugal force of comedy can stay alive.
Centrifugal.
So that's the word. This is why we have him report capital news. And not me.
Right.
But yeah, so that's what's going on with the jukebox, and they have a GoFundMe, which you can find on our website, on my story there, and
On CIProud.com.
on CIProud.com. Anything that has to do with jukebox, it'll be there. And they're wanting a goal of $75,000.
Okay.
At the time that the story was published, $30,000 was raised so far.
So a lot of money raised.
Yes, and they're hoping for a lot more. So it's $5 to get into the club
Tonight.
Yep, and they'll be going from there.
All right,
So
sweet. Thanks for sharing this with us. Now, onto a different story. Are you a fan of daylight saving time? Turns out ditching daylight saving time could be good for America's health. New evidence suggests switching between standard time and daylight savings time may not be what's best for our health. Stanford University did a study looking at staying in standard time, staying in daylight savings time, or shifting between the two.
The study found staying in standard time, which prioritizes morning light, was the clear winner for health benefits, and switching between daylight and standard time being the worst.
I'm not surprised. I always never enjoyed that switch.
Okay? Me neither.
so they're saying that being darker for later is bad. Is that?
We need morning sunlight. We need
Okay.
brighter mornings.
Yes. Okay. I see. If it could just stay the same year round, truthfully.
But the
Certain
Earth
states-
moves. Like the Earth doesn't
Yeah.
stay the same.
Right.
Right.
I just.
It's twisting and turning. What's that song from the Beatles that twists and shouts?
Twist and shout.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
That's probably all we can say without getting copyright stricken. So
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I've never been a daylight savings fan time, especially the spring forward.
Yeah. When it's like, oh, come on.
Right.
I'm
You
gonna
know,
lose an
I
hour
wanna
of sleep.
Get out of here.
That's always like the latest night I end up staying up to. I'm like, what do you mean I'm gonna get 30 minutes of sleep?
All right.
What am I, elf? Like,
Well,
So-
thank you for joining us for today's Beyond the Headlines. You can find all these stories and more over on our website, CIProud.com.
Have a great day.
For breaking news and weather updates 24/7, log on to CIProud.com and download the free CI Proud to Go mobile app.